What if the exact chemical that makes cigarettes so notoriously addictive is also a powerful tool for healing? Right now, people suffering from severe brain fog, chronic fatigue, and long-term post-viral symptoms are turning to an unlikely treatment: nicotine. Thousands of citizen scientists and functional medicine doctors are actively testing this. They aren't smoking. They are using extremely low-dose transdermal patches to see if this alkaloid can jumpstart the nervous system. Before we go any further, we need to be absolutely clear. This is an off-label experimental protocol. It is not a proven FDA-approved cure, and testing it requires prior consultation with your physician. Today, we are going to decode the laboratory science behind this paradox. We will walk through the exact step-by-step safety blueprint these patient groups use to test this therapy without triggering addiction. To understand why this protocol might work, we have to look at how viruses physically interact with the human nervous and immune systems. The main battleground here is a specific type of gateway on your cells called nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, or NACHRs. The two specific pathways we care about are known as the alpha-7 and the alpha-4 beta-2 receptors. Researchers have proposed the displacement theory. This is the idea that SARS-CoV-2 spike proteins bind directly to these receptors. When the virus plugs these gateways, it blocks normal chemical messengers, halting energetic signals. This is where nicotine enters the equation. Nicotine has a very high affinity for these exact receptors. Because it binds so tightly, scientists theorize that nicotine actually kicks the viral spike proteins off the receptors. While recent findings from Yale suggest the interaction is highly complex, one thing is clear: nicotine acts on the alpha-7 receptors to trigger your body's anti-inflammatory pathway, actively dissolving harmful inflammatory markers called cytokines. The specific molecular mechanism is the exact reason researchers are currently developing entirely new pan-antiviral drugs like YRC136, derived directly from nicotine, and it's exactly why patients are experimenting with it right now. Testing this hypothesis requires acquiring the correct delivery system. The goal is a steady, slow release of the compound. You absolutely cannot use cigarettes, vapes, or standard high-dose smoker patches like 14 or 21 milligrams. These methods deliver rapid, massive spikes of nicotine that trigger addiction and actually suppress your body's innate antiviral responses. The protocol strictly requires the lowest available over-the-counter transdermal patches, usually 7 or 7.5 milligrams over 24 hours. If 2 milligram gum is the only option, it must be bitten in half for a 1 milligram microdose. But the patch is the standard. Even a standard 7 milligram dose is still too strong for someone who doesn't use nicotine. It has to be halved. But you cannot simply take a pair of scissors and cut the patch down the middle. Slicing the patch destroys its internal time-release matrix. It will dump the nicotine into your skin all at once, causing severe nausea. To modify the dose safely, you leave half of the plastic sticker backing attached, or you cover exactly half the sticky side with medical tape. This ensures that only 3.5 milligrams of the active surface area actually touches your skin. Sourcing the correct slow-release patch and modifying it without breaking that matrix is the only way to bypass addiction pathways and safely access nicotine's therapeutic potential. Now for the application phase. You place the safely modified 3.5 milligram patch on a clean, dry area of the body where it won't be easily rubbed off, like between the shoulder blades. Patient groups and functional medicine doctors utilize a precise, staggered starting schedule. On day 1, you wear the patch for only 2 to 4 hours. From there, you begin the titration process. If your body tolerates the initial dose, you gradually increase the daily wear time until you reach 10 to 12 hours a day, spreading this over a 7-day period. During this entire process, you must enter a strict monitoring phase. You need to recognize the physiological signs of an overdose in someone who is nicotine naive. If you experience severe nausea, sweating, or heart palpitations, the dose is too high for your system and the patch must be removed immediately. There are also hard medical contraindications. Patients with existing cardiovascular issues or hyperadrenergic POTS must completely avoid this protocol. Nicotine is a stimulant, and it will exacerbate excess adrenaline production in these conditions. Respecting these strict physiological boundaries and abort criteria is what separates a controlled, low-dose therapeutic experiment from a dangerous stimulant overdose. Let's review the blueprint. The protocol relies on understanding receptor displacement, safely modifying a 7 milligram transdermal patch so it doesn't break the time-release matrix, and executing a strict 7-day titration schedule. As a final safety check, remember that this is an experimental journey. It requires listening closely to your body, stopping immediately if any adverse reactions occur, and keeping your doctor completely in the loop. For those seeking more information, patient-led research communities are actively tracking this data. Groups like the Nicotine Test on Facebook currently have over 30,000 members compiling ongoing citizen science data on their recovery. You now have the knowledge to safely discuss this protocol with your healthcare provider. Subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into emerging science. And if you have your own recovery experiences, share them down in the comments below.